Hello, dreamers. It's Jeanette with Prairie Dreams Decor. I hope you had a good day today. I did. I had a pretty productive day. I was very busy. Very busy. Let me turn down my glue pot here. When I say my glue pot, I just mean my little skillet here. And that's very handy if you don't have one. I put up a list, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, a list of some of the Christmas gifts that crafters might like. So if you need to get some hints, you might want to check that out. Because I'm an Amazon affiliate now, and so I earn a very small commission if you shop through my link. But Amazon's already having Black Friday deals and everything, and I thought I'd go through there and look at some things. But tonight, what we're going to do is we are going to work on this little cardinal arrangement. And it's on a candlestick. And I have kits available. I only have 5 kits now. At one time I had 11. And I don't know if those gals are going to join us tonight or not. I told them I was going to be posting this, doing this on Facebook. Plus, I'll be posting it on YouTube later, so you won't have any trouble finding it. And on YouTube, it's just under Prairie Dreams Decor. I can't remember if there's spaces in between the words or not. But anyway, you should be able to find it pretty easy. And then that way you can come back and look at it again if you need to. Just Prairie Dreams Decor. And let's not waste any time and get started. I have everything put together here. Let me put this away. Find a space for her. There we go. I'm running out of room, guys. I've got so many projects going, and I put projects in boxes and sacks and whatever I can find. And so I tend to have those all over the place. I don't think I'm going to need this in a minute. But let's start by prepping everything. Here's our candlestick. And it's a nice sturdy one. And I think all the candlesticks in all the kits are the same. We are going to start by gluing this on. And I use 2 different types of glue. I want to go through this fairly quickly. So if I miss your comment, don't worry. I'll come back and look at it as I'm posting it onto YouTube. I can go back through and look at them and catch you that way. First, I have to get the lid off. This is E6000. And E6000 is the glue that takes 24 hours to cure. So, but it will last forever. It's even like weatherproof. So I'm going to put some good dabs of that around. And we're going to put the styrofoam on top here. But to hold it until this E6000 can cure, we are going to put down some hot glue. Now, in your kit, you'll get a 1-inch slice of styrofoam, and that's what we're going to put on here, and that's what will hold all your products. Well, come on. That didn't heat up yet. That's okay. we'll move on. Let's go ahead and cut this up. I should have prepped some of this beforehand, but I wanted you to see you'll be getting a large stem like this, and you just need to cut the pieces off. Oh, and on the kits, I did put in free shipping, so that will save some money. And really, if you had to go out and buy all the parts and pieces for this, you would spend a whole lot more than what I'm charging for the kit, because you wouldn't be able to have all the little bits and pieces unless you have a good inventory of scraps or you know, like garlands you can cut up and things like that. If you have a good inventory of things like that, you might have what you need. And I thought, well, a kit kind of saves money. It saves money. It saves time if you had to go and find all this stuff. Come on, out there. So it'll save quite a bit. Just get all this off of here. And if you really wanted to be fancy, you could flock your items, your greenery. And I've got a video for that too. You can find it in the YouTube selection that I have under Prairie Dreams Decor. And I invite you to go there and check us out and see what all we've got there. I could use some followers there, that's for sure. I don't know how many people use YouTube. I use it a lot. Okay. Not a whole lot of damage there, but a little bit. Let me see if my glue's coming along. Not just yet. Don't worry about this E6000 on here. Since it takes so long to cure, it does take a long time to dry, and it's not going to dry out on us, even though we're having to wait. Okay, what else comes in this little box that you would be getting if you order a kit? All kinds of good stuff. I showed you the big pick that we would send out. I have some smaller picks. Like these. I think I've got 4 of these. And I've got a few of these. I've got some pine cones. I've even got some, it's not moss. What is it? I forget what it's called. Maybe it's sphagnum moss, or I can't say that word. Anyway, some of this to cover up the styrofoam. And, of course, your pretty cardinal. Okay? So everything's in there for you. So I'll be pulling from this box quite a bit. You'll see me pulling things out of there. And probably dropping some things too. You'll also receive a little baggie like this that has berries, more greenery, some wooden picks in case you need them. I'm not sure you're going to need them. but I wanted to include some just in case you didn't have any. And some floral pins, or U pins. I'm not sure how you would know those. All this stuff is readily available if you don't want to order one of my kits, but you want to make it. You can probably get most of it at Walmart and Hobby Lobby. Okay. Tell you what, let's go ahead and make our ribbon or our bow. Let me get my easy bow maker. I just don't want to waste any time tonight. Get that kind of out of the way. And I think I will use this ribbon. You'll also get a yard of ribbon, and it's wired edge ribbon. And I probably won't be able to offer a choice. I don't know, maybe I can with just 5 kits. Maybe I can. You can see I've got all kinds of ribbon. If you're doing this on your own, you don't want anything bigger probably than 1.5 inch wide. Anything bigger than that, and it might kind of overpower the arrangement. I've even got some real fancy stuff here. I was going to look and see if I could pull us up here. Not very often that I can. Here we go. I am on there. Okay. We're live. Nice to know. Okay. And I even have a video on how to make ribbons. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining all that tonight. I'm going to make the tail about probably about 7 inches. And probably don't even need that long. But we'll make it about 7 inches. Just to make sure we have plenty to work with. Twist and turn so that the right side is facing down. And I'm just going to make 5-inch loops. Because once again, our project is fairly small and we don't want to overpower it so that this is all you see. And this is 1.5 inch ribbon. Push it down, twist and turn. Trying to get the comments on my iPad instead of, I'm not sure I can. You know, I don't know whether it's my iPad, my iPhone, Facebook. I'm not sure what it is, but I very seldom can see the comments as they roll across. But like I said, I'll be going back to double check everything. Now it's your choice of how many loops you want. You're going to be working with about a yard of ribbon. So probably 5 loops. Probably 4 loops. And a button loop. You'll notice I'm always turning it so that the printed side is down. The side that we want to see is down, because when you bring the loop over and around, you'll have the printed side up. Okay. If you go and buy your own ribbon, make sure it's wired edge ribbon. Okay. I'm going to make a little, what I call a button loop, which is just a smaller loop that fits in the center of the project. And it turns out it's about 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. And at this point, you do not have to turn it because the right side will stay up for a tail. Let me get my baggie and get my pipe cleaner under there. And pull it kind of tight. And pull it off. And I can clip that. Okay. I don't need this anymore. Put that over on the table. I'm just very crunched for space in here. Like I said, I've just had about every supply out that I own trying to get things done. It's a busy time of the year, as you all know. Gosh, Thanksgiving is this coming week already. It doesn't seem possible, does it? It's hard to believe. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? Okay. Let's snip this off. A lot of times I use zip ties for my bows, but for this it's not necessary. I use zip ties when it's a wreath. But right now I'm going to use a floral pin. And we're going to go ahead and make a decision on where to put this bow. I'm just trying to get that in between the bow and the pipe cleaner. Well, I guess don't tighten it down so tight you can't get it through there. I think I've told you all before, I have what they call essential trimmers. And so sometimes I can't get my hands to work the way I want them to. And it just takes a little bit of effort. There we go. See how I've got that? Now, let's see if we can get this styrofoam on here. See, my hand's shaking so much it can't even... I mean, it can be comical. It can be very comical. When we were in church last Sunday, I was trying to turn the page in the hymnal, and I couldn't quite get it turned. And I noticed my grandson watching me. So I just got disgusted, and I kind of slammed it shut. He looked at me, and I was like, it just wasn't working out for me. Okay, so now we've got that on. And I'm going to press it down pretty good because I want it to make good contact with that E6000. Okay. Now, we're going to do something else that's a little bit tricky. And I actually may need to go back through and put more, I may need to put more zip ties in for you. I think I will. Excuse me, just a commercial break real quick. I want to include 4 zip ties for you. And we're going to latch them together like so. Clip off that end. And I'm going to, what in my mind seems like crisscross on here. And this will help hold it down. And the greenery and everything that we put on here is going to help hide the zip ties. Okay, get it tight, and then pull. Okay, there we go. Clip that. I want to make a note to add zip ties real quick. Okay, 2 more. Clip that. And here's what I consider the crisscross, I guess. And if you'll notice, I'm trying to put the connector up so that it's on the styrofoam. Easier to hide that way. Got it at the wrong angle, I can't see. There we go. There we go. Pull that tight. Okay, and clip that. That's not only gonna help keep the styrofoam on there, but it keeps the whole base kind of stabilized. And if you want to, you can run some glue underneath there. See where that's touching? Where it's touching on that side? We can run some glue across there, and that will help too. And I don't think you'll be able to see this. We will strategically place it so that you can't. We'll place our greenery so that you can't see it. Okay. Alrighty. Get this stuff out of the way. Even though I have a mess going right now on my table, when I'm done, I always clean my table off. I may have a mess all the way around me, but my table's going to be clean. And it's a habit that I picked up when I worked in an office all those years. Clean my desk off before the end of the day, because sometimes you don't know if you're going to be sick or something the next day, and you sure don't want everybody to see that. But I just do that for my own peace of mind. I can come back to work the next day and I start clean, kind of, and it's just a good habit to be in. Okay, flip this right side up. Now I know I'm going to use all this greenery now. Oh, first let's place the bow. First, let's make the bow pretty. Upside down. I'm just going to fluff it out here. And show you how I'm fluffing it out. You can put your, most bows, most ribbons, when you make the bow, you can put your whole hand in there and fluff it. It goes fast, and it looks pretty good doing it that way. And here's our little button loop. It just kind of covers up the center. See if I can get that in camera. Now, I'm going to dip these ends into my hot glue pot. If you don't have a hot glue pot, you'll just have to use your glue gun. Okay. Now I'm going to pick a spot, and I'll probably pick by one of these ties here, and I'm just going to push it in. Okay, just like that. Okay, now let's get this sorted out a little bit. We'll probably mess with this ribbon 100 times before we're done, but that's okay. Told you before, I'm always fluffing something or other. If you hear snoring in the background, it's my dog, Scout. He has to be down here with me, but he thinks I'm boring when I'm doing this, so. I'm just dovetailing the ends. Fold it in half. If you're cutting from the edge, go up into the center, like so, and you get a nice finished edge. And we may shorten those later too. Okay, the next thing we need to do, inside your little baggie will come a short dowel. I can get a hold of it here. My hands are really acting up tonight. Okay, and we're going to get our Cardinal. Almost conical. Kind of, sort of. There we go. I'm going to cut the tag off. And I'm going to, we don't need this clip. They put these clips on there in case you want to, clip it on your tree or a wreath or something. I would never trust that by itself anyway. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to pull down like this. And then back up. There we go. And you may have to rearrange some of those tail feathers so you don't see it so much. I wouldn't worry about gluing them down. Try not to get glue near the feathers because you'll never get it out. Okay? And you're not going to see that part anyway because it's going to sit like this, and that mess is down here on the bottom. Okay? So, I'm going to make a pilot hole right in the center. of this. Okay, just like so. Now, I do want to stress that your project isn't going to look like mine. I'm not sure this project is going to look like the one I did before. It doesn't matter. Just get the basics. Watch me for the basics and get that down pat, and then you'll be able to do it. Okay, so then I'm going to make a hole in the bottom of the little birdie. See the flat piece here? And this is where it kind of got messed up from that clip. Doesn't matter. So just find about the middle of it and make a hole there. And the reason we make the hole here first is because when we add the glue, we don't have to drag it through those feathers. We don't have to drag the glue through those feathers. There we go. Just like so. Okay. Now, I'm going to get some glue on this here. And my glue pot is just off camera here. Try not to get too many strings. I'm going to find my little hole that I made earlier and put it in. Like so. Now I can already tell. Yeah, maybe not. I was going to say it may be at a different angle than I had my previous one, but I think it's about the same. You could put it a little forward so that it, you know, goes forward a little bit. But we're going to get all this figured out. Now, one of the first things we're going to do, we're going to work on getting this greenery. And if you'll notice, there's greenery that goes around the bottom that helps cover up some of the mechanics, like we talked about. There is a little bit of greenery underneath the ribbon, but we're going to wait to place that at the very end of this round, at the very end of this going round, okay? I don't even make sense to myself. Okay. So, just like everything else I've taught, we go, what we do to one side, we do to the other, okay? So, we're going to start by looking at this. We need to turn our guy around. There he goes. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Just like that. Okay. So, starting like that, I'm going to put the first one kind of behind the ribbon here. And I'm going straight into the side. Can you see that? Okay, so what we did to that side, we're going to do to the other side. And I'm bending this down just a little bit. I don't want the perimeter to go out a whole lot more than what the ribbon is. It may go out a little further, but not much, okay? So let's do the other side here. And we're going to put this one right over here. Sorry, I have to keep turning it. And I'm going to pull it down a little bit. Okay. Pull the glue strings off. Forever glue strings. And let's place another one. Now, we're getting kind of to the point where I think we're just going to have to finish this off. We're going to put 2 more back here. I think that's kind of how I had it. Yeah. Because we'll have other stuff that goes back there too. Okay. Right here. And when you're working on things, you'll kind of figure out almost like a measurement system for yourself. Because I'm kind of using, between the bow and these zip ties, I'm kind of using that as markers for where I want to place things. Almost like a measuring system, even though it's not real precise or anything. And right here. Okay, now, here's where we come to a little bit, I wouldn't say difficult, but different part. Because we're going to use this greenery here. And this greenery, everything else wants to come out with it. This greenery, as you can tell, is pretty floppy, which, excuse me, clear that, is pretty floppy, which kind of makes it nice for a piece like this, but it's not strong enough to stick in on its own. And that's where we could take the time and put each one of them on a wooden pick, but that would take forever. So that's where these floral pins will come in handy, okay? I'm just going to get a bunch of this out. And I probably packed a whole lot more for you in the baggie than what you'll need. But I wanted to make sure you had plenty. So I'm going to take it all out. And I'll show you how we do that. I'm not sure you can tell on this. It's all covered up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start these pieces let me cut this off. I'm going to start these pieces way up there. You see that? So that it's almost touching the bird, might even be touching the bird, because look how far down it comes. It comes clear to the bottom. Let me see if I can move my camera down just a little bit more. Sorry. One time I was doing this on a live video. I flipped the phone off, broke the light, and made a mess of everything. So I'm always a little nervous when I'm doing that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in between these greeneries that I already have laying down, and you'll see some of the actual greenery is laying on top also. Okay, which, oh, that reminds me, we probably should put our moss down now. You can tell I don't always use the moss. It's not always needed. It's not always needed. Because we put so much stuff in there that we don't even always need it. But I'm just going to lay it down on here and have some of it go down in between. I don't even pin it down or anything. I don't pin it. I don't glue it. It's just, it gets caught in the things that we're gluing and pinning on. And that's all that's necessary. We just don't want the styrofoam to show through. But even at that, I mean, the styrofoam is green. So it's not that big a deal. Get some of this over here. Sorry, I forgot about that part. It's live TV for you. Okay, I'm just going to lay it down just like that. Okay, now I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get hot glue on my floral pick, and I said I have the luxury of a glue pot. If you don't have a glue pot or a small electric skillet, you'll have to use your glue gun, not hard. And I'm going to go in between the two pieces right here. Okay? And I'm going to pin this in. Just like so. I wish I could do this backwards better for you. And see, the pin even almost disappears in that moss. What is that stuff called? Spanish moss. That's what that is. So I'm just going to go around, and in between all of those picks that we already put in, I'm going to lay one of these down. Okay. My glue skillet's being a little temperamental tonight anyway. It either wants to be too hot or it cools down and it's so thick I can't run anything through it. Which is typical. Push that pin in there. There. Hear that crunch? That's a satisfying crunch. You know you getting it in there then. Just quickly go around our little bird. May need to, depending on how yours works out, let me show you a little trick. Sometimes you almost need to trim it off to make that floral pin just a little bit shorter. You start putting things in here and you start running out of real estate. Okay, right in between. And in. There we go. You know, a lot of ladies like to go and get a manicure or something before Christmas, and I don't think I would be embarrassed to go in and have a manicure this time of the year. My hands just look awful. Okay, now Finish this part up. I'm going to put one right here at the tail end of the birdie. I'm even going to kind of place the stem part underneath him a little bit. Well, that didn't work out. My hands tonight, it's very frustrating. Still don't have a lot of strength in my hand, you know, my arm. But I am up to 5-pound weights. So that's something. Doesn't seem like much, but boy, I come home from physical therapy all pooped out. There we go. Now I'm going to put that kind of behind. Like so. Make sure I've got, oh, there's the crunch. I heard it now. Okay. Don't think I need this one right now. Let's move on to some of the tall elements. I always like to have it look like they're kind of in front of something. So I kind of like to put these tall things behind them. And I will put one, and these are strong, so these will go in. I will put one right behind his tail here. I say they're strong, but going through that moss might be kind of difficult. You might have to kind of part the way for it to go through. There we go. I just kind of fan it out. One reason you do not want to glue that moss down is because, you know, you start getting that glue in there and these stems will not go through at all. Nothing will go through that glue. So I'm going to put one kind of right behind him. There we go. Like that. And our third one, we don't want it to look real symmetrical. So I'm going to have it coming out at a 90-degree, more like a 90-degree angle. Now, what I'm doing here is I kind of pull this up so I don't put it in the glue when it's in the skillet. You'll want to do the same thing with the glue gun. Just kind of pull it up so that the only thing showing is that stem. I mean, you'll want to do this about the same thing with the glue gun. I'm not sure what I said there, but I think I said it wrong. There we go. I don't want everything real matchy-matchy, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm putting in big elements now. And I want to put in these little deals. And these you may want to put on a wooden pick. And I'll show you how you do that. You just line it up with the wooden pick, use the wire, wrap it around, go up and down that stem. Okay. I even hot glue it just for my own security. We gotta let that set a minute. I'll do this other one. Oh, this one I don't need to. This one has a good stem on it. So I'll just trim it down. Get some of this mess out of here. And I've got a third one. And this is a good stem too. Okay. Now, kind of the same thing with these as I did with these three things. I want to fan them around, but I don't want it to look real matchy-matchy. You could even think of it this way, just do the opposite of what you did with this big greenery. You could go 90 degrees out this way, up more this way, and maybe out. Turn that so you can see it. Maybe more out this way. Okay. I'm sorry, I need to get it closer to me so I can see what I'm doing here. Let's just plan on doing that because it'll be easy. I have to be careful because his tail is back here and I don't want any glue in that tail. I may have to put a pick on those anyway. Kind of buckled on me. No biggie. It doesn't take long to do this. I have a pick machine that I really like to use, but I know most people don't have those. Even a lot of professional wreath makers don't have them. They're very expensive. Frank got me one for combination Christmas birthday a couple of years ago. He knew how bad I wanted one. And actually, I picked it out and everything, so it was one of those kind of presents. Just gonna make sure it's very, very secure on there. Now, obviously, this pick is too long to put in there. I mean, if we put it in there, it would be sticking clear out there. So we need to trim it down, and we need to trim it probably way down. And I'm going to trim it at an angle, so it's kind of got a point to it. And just cut it like that. Okay? And here's the point where I was trying to go in before. It just wasn't happening for me. Let me make sure there's nothing in my way there. And I'm going, on this piece, I'm going in on the side. And it's gonna hang straight out, like so. Okay. Trim this one down. This one I'm going to kind of go out of the back, and it's kind of going to go on the side there. There's that. And this fell off, so I need to figure out what's going on here. Oh, I see. I only got one piece of that floral pin in there. That won't work. And it's in there good. Cut that out of there. It gets to be kind of hard to see. Since I've already got, I left part of that floral pin in there, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to cut this one down a little bit. And I'm going to get that back up where I want it. And this time I'm going to double check that. There we go. There we go. That one's in there. Okay, see where we are so far? Clicking right along. Okay, now I've got one of these left in case we need it. We may want to put it directly under the bow. We'll see. But I've got some other pieces here that we need to put in. And I think we'll go with these first. I gave you 3 of these in your kit. I'm going to shorten up the stems on these too, because they're awfully long. Cutters will cut that wire, but it doesn't like that paper that's on there. There we go. Now, I kind of want to bend these just a little bit, just to make it look like it's not straight out of the package. And just like those, just like these other 3, we need to strategically place them. And I'm just kind of looking for the best place. I think one might go in front of his tail. One might go over here. See where my little fasteners hanging out. We want to bring some of this moss over there and kind of cover that up a little bit. And I'll put a piece of this in here. And then one back here. Again, we're going to go more straight out. Even though this is a front-facing design, we don't want to leave the back yucky. So I always pay attention to the back, at least as much as I can. You know, you could use 20 times this much product, but you don't need that much. And we can still make the back look pretty nice. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm going to go under these beads, kind of. Hear that crunch? It's a good crunch. You see how that's kind of shaping out for us? Oh, we didn't put the other red berry in there, did we? Let's get that in there before we move on. I know, who's we? Me. Okay. And I think this one will go more, it's going to go on top of this lower layer, but it's going to go right in here, I think. What's in there? It's going to go right there. Okay. And you can see they're not evenly spaced. They don't have to be. I think one of the big decisions you have to make when you're doing an arrangement is you need to decide, is it going to be symmetrical, or is it going to be more whimsical? Is it going to be kind of country garden type? You know, you need to kind of decide what you like. If you like more symmetrical, then that's the way you should do it. You should place everything just exactly even all the way around, up and down, all the way around. Does that make sense? Okay. I wish they wouldn't use that sticky stuff for the tags. I hate that. Can hardly get it off. There we go, finally. Come on. Go. So we put one in the back. Right? Where did we put it? Here it is. So we're going to put one on the sides. And I'm kind of starting to run out of real estate, but I'm just going to kind of part this and kind of go in between there. I can see just a little bit of space in there. And that's where I need to place this. I'm going to go No, didn't catch what I needed to. There we go. Goodness. Okay. I'd have to kind of move those around the way you want them. You know, things in nature don't usually grow real straight, so you can kind of move it around, make it look a little more natural. And this would be real pretty if it was flocked. I'm going to put this right in front of his tail feathers. And kind of heading out. There we go. Okay. We're almost done. You can see there's quite a bit of spot up here. Well, we're going to fix that. We are going to put our pine cones up there. Okay. And these pine cones are going to kind of sit almost on top of the bow. You do not have to do it that way. That's just the way this one's kind of working out. Have some needle nose pliers around so you're not putting your hands into that hot glue. There we go. And then we just kind of maneuver the bow around it. We want the bow to actually we want it to actually be part of the design. We don't want it to be separate. And to that end, I'm going to trim off these tails a little bit more while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to cut from the middle down. There we go. And that's better. Okay, you can see there's still some empty spots. And that's what these are for. These little short pieces. These can eat up a lot of territory while still leaving the design kind of airy. So I'm going to put one of these down in front. And I'll probably put more of these in your box than you will actually need. But just in case, you'll have it. Because see, like here, I have room for another one. And right there. Right there. And I don't see any more styrofoam. So I don't know if I need this third one or not. I can always find a place to put it. I think I will put it underneath the bow. It will help lift up the bow and make sure that it stays out. We don't want it hiding underneath the lip of this candlestick. There. That was a good choice. And let's see. I think that's it. I think we're done. What do you think of our little cardinal sitting in his nest? I think he turned out pretty great. So, if you're interested in purchasing a kit, and you don't have to, you can go out and buy these things on your own, but if you're interested in purchasing a kit, they are in my Etsy store, just under Prairie Dreams Decor, and free shipping. So that's kind of a bargain these days. I tell you, a little box to mail this stuff, even just to the next county, is likely to cost $10, $12. So, so you're getting a bargain, and I think you'll enjoy putting it together, and you can fuss and muss with it like I'm doing. I've always got things to adjust on it. What I do is a lot of times I walk away from it and then come back later. And if there's a hole or something, you know, you've got some greenery left over that you can always add in. I'll make sure you have plenty. And we had one of these left over. So anyway, let me put this back up while I talk to you. I think our little cardinal turned out pretty nice. Do you like him? Okay. Well, I've taken enough of your time. I knew it would be a longer one. I was trying to go fast. I went as fast as I could. So I just want to remind you to always be a dreamer like me. Good night.